U.S. Department of Transportation's investigation
Oh,
Delta.
Look at that. Apparently it's live. Going live is I'm like, fix the hair. Fix the hair. We're going live here. Fix the hair, everybody. I don't know if the sound's working though. Is the mic working? Doesn't sound like it's picking up. Well, I guess we'll see if it's happening or not, or if it's just silent. Guess we'll find out. Here we go.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. We think that's common sense. Now, you're right that the airlines might back. It wouldn't be the first time that their lobbyists.
Rockies versus the Angels. Rockies climb the mountain, win that one 5-4. Cardinals versus the Cubbies. Cubs on top there. Going over to the medal count. USA has coming up today. Men's soccer. U.S. men's soccer key takeaway quarterfinal. Men's soccer versus Morocco today. Today we've got men's soccer, USA versus Morocco. Also Sha'Carri Richardson. Sha'Carri Richardson makes her Olympic debut. Katie Ledecky returns. Katie Ledecky returns today during the Friday Paris Games, and Simone Biles grabs gold in the women's gymnastics. And yesterday, Simone Biles grabbed gold in the women's gymnastics all-around final, and then women's gymnastics all-around final. There we go. There we go. See if there's anything local.
Ruling that it likely exceeds the agency's authority. The judges granted a request by airlines to halt the rule while their lawsuit plays out. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned the, quote, tiny, mindless authority behind the unrest that has plagued several cities after a horrific stabbing in a children's dance class, and vowed to put a stop to it, as the 17-year-old suspect was named Thursday, in part to counter misinformation blamed as one of the causes of fiery clashes.
Make no mistake, whether it's in Southport, London, or Hartlepool, these people are showing our country exactly who they are. Mosques targeted because they're mosques. Flares thrown at the statue of Winston Churchill. A Nazi sword at the centre. And so I've just held a meeting with senior police and law enforcement leaders where we resolved to show who we are. A country that will not allow understandable fear to curdle into division and hate in our communities. And that will not permit, under any circumstances, a breakdown in law and order on our streets. Because let's be very clear about this. It's not protest. It's not legitimate. It's crime, violent disorder. I can announce today that following this meeting, we will establish a national capability across police forces to tackle violent disorder. These thugs are mobile. They move from community to community. And we must have a policing response that can do the same. Shared intelligence, wider deployment of facial recognition technology, and preventative action, criminal behaviour orders to restrict their movements before they can even board a train.
The announcement came as the teen charged with murdering 3 girls and stabbing 10 others made his first court appearance and was named partly to refute false information that had circulated on social media about his name and immigration status. The judge said his decision to allow Axel Cabana to be named was exceptional given the boy's age, but he said the teen will lose his right to anonymity when he turns 18 next week. Deputy Chief Crown Prosecutor Ursula Doyle and Chief Constable Serena Kennedy.
17-year-old boy from Banks has been charged with the murders of Phoebe, Elsie Dot, and Alice. 10 counts of attempted murder and possession of a related article following the tragic incident in Southport on Monday, 29th of July. The 17-year-old cannot be named for legal reasons as he is under 18. Whilst these charges are a significant milestone within this investigation, this remains very much a live investigation, and we continue to work with our partners from Lancashire Police and Counter-Terrorism Police in the Northwest. It is extremely important that there should be no reporting, commentary or sharing of information online which could in any way prejudice these proceedings.
Brita Cabana did not enter a plea and was ordered held without bail. Prosecutors did not disclose a motive for the attack. More on the way on this Friday morning to get you moving right now with Transportation Minute.
This is your Transportation Channel Minute, presented by newspark.io. A new survey by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety shows surprising support for technology that slows drivers down. Turns out over 60% of Americans would accept a system that warns them when they exceed the speed limit. The Insurance Institute says these findings challenge the idea that Americans wouldn't accept speed limits. They believe such technology called Intelligent Speed Assist, or ISA, could significantly reduce traffic deaths, especially for pedestrians. Studies show that pedestrians are far more likely to survive being hit at 40 miles per hour than just 5 miles per hour faster. The Institute is urging change, hoping to make ISA standard in all new cars. While working towards lowering speeding limits and redesigning roads for safety, the Institute believes that in-vehicle speed limiters could save many lives. The Transportation Channel is powered by newspark.io. Go to newspark.io to learn more about what we can do for you. For the Transportation Channel Minute, John Asella.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Nick. If you want to ensure quality, please go to totalwellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. Totalwellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Would your car perform better with premium gas or regular? What do octane ratings mean? I'm Ron Ananian in the Car Doctor, your automotive prescription, right after this.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme, the solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with DEA to deep clean. Don't settle.
Powered by science.
And go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Today's modern vehicle, whether it's a car, SUV, or light truck.
All right. Don't know if the volume's working. Is the volume working? Hello. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Many high-end luxury vehicles call for premium or higher octane fuel. And the reason for this is not just due to the octane rating. There are better fuel system cleaners in premium fuel.
Hey there, fellas.
Gasoline companies know too that vehicles that run on premium won't perform as well with carbon deposits. So they pack more cleaning power into their premium fuels than their regular blend. If you rotate your fuel choices around,
Shingle Springs.
Thankful, you may find better performance and miles per gallon because you are cleaning your engine and fuel system while you drive. Just don't tell your mechanic you're trying to replace them anytime soon. With your automotive prescription, I'm Ron Ananian in the Car Doctor. See you next time.
And good Friday morning to you. It is August 2nd, and it is right smack dab at the bottom of the hour, 6:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Shingle Springs. Currently 69 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 96 degrees. All right, there's a sports ball music. Let's get right into it. We're going to start in the major leagues. A's and the Giants had yesterday off. A's will be back today, starting a homestand against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Go A's, by the way. You can catch all of the action here starting at 6 o'clock tonight on KAHI. First pitch will be at 6:40 p.m. So A's back on KAHI again tonight, starting at 6 o'clock versus the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they will start up there. Rockies versus the Angels yesterday. Rockies climbed the mountain 5-4. Cardinals versus the Cubbies. Cubbies run away with that one 5-4. Braves versus the Marlins. Braves on top there 4-2. Royals versus the Tigers. They win in a royal way. Royals on top there 7-1. Orioles versus the Guardians. Guardians keep the lead. Take that one 10-3. Headed over now to the Olympic scoreboard. We're looking at the overall medal leaders in the Olympics right now. USA leads with 39. France, the host country, right behind with 28. And China has 26. Going over to the individual medal leaders right now. For the gold medal, China leads with 12. USA on the board now with 9. France has 8. Going over to silver, U.S. leads there with 16, France right behind with 11, and Great Britain with 8. And over to the bronze category, USA has 14, kind of dominating in the bronze area there. France has 9, Great Britain has 8 there. Looking forward to today, men's soccer team versus Morocco is happening today. Also, Sha'Carri Richardson is making her Olympic debut today, and Katie Ledecky comes back to the Paris Games again today. She won big yesterday. And Simone Biles grabs gold yesterday in the women's gymnastics all-around final. And Katie Ledecky, yeah, like we said, she cannot be stopped. She kept going on for gold yesterday as well. Taking a look locally, hey, my goodness gracious, it is almost here. High school football is officially underway. This is from the Auburn Journal. As teams across the San Joaquin section held their first official practices on Monday, there are still 4 weeks of practices before the season kicks off on August 23rd. And by the way, you can hear all the games here on KAHI for the Hillman. But coaches and players alike know the first day is foundational upon which any successful season is built. Expectations are high for the Placer Hillman as they look to defend their Foothill Valley League championship and make a deep playoff run. Coach Joey Montoya was pleased with what he saw on the first day and said this is one of the best groups he's had in recent years. So yeah, looking forward to football season coming up here. And again, you can catch all of the Placer Hillman games here on KAHI. Back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Mike. Join me for the all-new Sunday morning talk shop program. If you have something to buy, sell, swap, or even give away for free, you can give me a call on Sunday mornings between 8 and 9. There's no telling what you might hear on this week's talk shop, so tell your family, friends, and neighbors to tune in and listen. As you become a radio star.
A radio star.
Listen every Sunday morning.
All right, Timmy, you're up.
FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. Good Friday morning. Our forecasting mostly sunny skies, still hot today, to the mid-90s and light southwest winds. Could be around 72 tonight. Scattered clouds and light winds expected. A dry, sunny, hot weekend coming up. Mostly sunny skies Saturday and Sunday. The high about 93 to 99 each afternoon, and light southwest winds over the weekend. This is meteorologist Tim Rick from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that update there. 33 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:33 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have your KAHI News. We'll have your California Ag Report, all that good stuff. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, looking forward to this. Mary Jane Pop. Can you believe it's Friday already? Mary Jane and I are going to chat again. Always love talking to her. The wisdom that she brings, the interesting guests that she has on her show every week, week in, week out. Looking forward to it. We'll talk in the 8 o'clock hour. Off now to America's First News. I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
In a 24-person prisoner swap Thursday, the largest in post-Soviet history, with Moscow releasing.
All right. Here we go.
Fellow American Paul Whelan.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Okay. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris greeted them. Biden earlier Thursday detailed the swap.
Today, we're bringing on Paul, Evan, Olson, Wagner. 3 American citizens, 1 American green card holder. All 4 have been imprisoned unjustly in Russia. Their brutal ordeal is over, and they're free. Moments ago, families and I were able to speak to them on the telephone from the Oval Office. They're out of Russia. Earlier today, they were flown to Turkey. And soon, they'll be wheels up on their way home to see their families. This is an incredible relief for all the family members gathered here. It's relief to the friends and colleagues all across the country who've been praying for this day for a long time. The deal that made this possible was a feat of diplomacy and friendship.
Mr. President, what did your committee ask for in response to that cooperation?
Nothing.
President Biden, that he could have gotten the hostages out without giving anything in exchange. What do you say to that? What do you say to former president?
Why do you need to release president?
David Whelan is Paul Whelan's twin brother. He told ABC News the family found out late Thursday morning that Paul would be coming home.
I was being very cautious until I saw an announcement from the White House that Paul was free and that he was on his way back. We had been through 2 prisoner releases before where he had not come home. So despite the growing media announcements and speculation overnight, and then even into this morning that an exchange was happening and that Paul was going to be a part of it. I didn't really allow myself to believe that was going to happen until I saw that announcement by the White House. And of course, we're overjoyed, and I hope to actually see him soon.
You noted in your statement today that Paul had been detained for more than 2,000 days. Describe this emotional roller coaster, the ups and downs, as other prisoners were released from custody, but Paul remained in Russia.
I think it's difficult. You want to be generous. You are happy to see other people free. But you do start to wonder, and I think we were concerned that as time went on, Paul was going to become one of those insolvable cases. I think additionally, with Russia, there were so few concessions that the U.S. government could make that the Russian government seemed to want. That I think we didn't have very high hopes that this was ever going to happen.
It is the latest exchange between the Biden administration and Moscow in the past 2 years, following a December 2022 trade that brought WNBA star Brittany Griner back to the United States in exchange for a notorious arms trafficker, Victor Booth. Fed Reserve Chair Jerome Powell this week set the stage for the central bank's first rate cut in 4 years, citing greater progress toward lower inflation as well as a cooler job market that no longer threatens to overheat the economy. The Fed kept its key rate unchanged at a 23-year high at 5.3%, but Powell said the central bank is moving closer toward cutting its key interest rate, possibly in September at the bank's next meeting.
I'll give an example of cases in which it would be appropriate to cut and maybe it wouldn't be appropriate to cut. So if we were to see, for example, inflation moving down quickly or more or less in line with expectations, growth remains, let's say, reasonably strong, and the labor market remains, consistent with its current condition, then I would think that a rate cut could be on the table at the September meeting. If inflation were to prove, stickier and we were to see higher readings for inflation, disappointing readings, we would weigh that along with the other things. I think it's going to be not just any one thing. It's going to be the inflation data. It's going to be the employment. It's going to be the balance of risks as we see it. It's going to be the totality of all of that help us make this decision.
Just to follow up on that, specifically, in what ways right now, given all you've seen over the last few months in particular on shelter, et cetera, in what ways are you not confident right now that inflation is on the way back to 2%?
I think it's just a question of seeing more good data. We have seen the last couple of readings have certainly added to confidence, and we've seen progress across all three categories of core PCE inflation. That's goods, non-housing services, and housing services. So it's really just, we had a quarter of poor inflation data at the beginning of the year. Then we saw some more good inflation data. We had 7 months at the end of last year. We just want to see more and gain confidence. And as I said, we did gain confidence, and more good data would cause us to gain more confidence.
A rate cut by the Fed is unlikely to have much immediate impact because it's largely expected by financial markets. Yet over time, lower rates could reduce borrowing costs for consumers and businesses, including mortgage and auto loan rates. The news did nothing to calm markets. Wall Street was down after weak data raised worries that the central bank may have missed its window to cut interest rates. Now to sports this morning, and Brett Rippon stole the show before lightning and heavy rain ended the game early. The veteran quarterback threw 3 touchdown passes, leading the Chicago Bears to a 21-17 win over the Houston Texans Thursday night in the Hall of Fame game. The NFL's exhibition opener was stopped with 3:31 left in the third quarter and was called off after a 36-minute delay. All eyes were on the NFL's radical new kickoff rule at the start. The league dramatically redesigned the play, aiming to revive it after a record low returns last season. None of the 8 kickoffs were returned beyond the 32. 3 were brought back to the 26, a yard farther than the old touchback. There was 1 touchback that came out to the 30. Now to Paris, where Simone Biles dazzled again while winning the gold in women's all-around gymnastics at the Paris Games, becoming the oldest woman to accomplish the feat since 1952. The 27-year-old Olympian nailed her floor exercise to edge Brazil's Rebeca Andrade in one of the tightest victories of her decorated career. She became the first woman to win the all-around gymnastics gold at non-consecutive Olympics, having previously done so at the 2016 Rio Games.
3 years ago, I never thought I'd step foot on a gymnastics floor again just because of everything that had happened. But with the help of Cecile and Laurent, I got back in the gym and worked really hard mentally and physically. Even this morning at 7 a.m., I saw my therapist, and there's a time change. So she is so amazing for allowing me to do that these couple of days here in Paris. So just making sure I'm mentally well. I think you see that out on the competition floor. And then my goat necklace is just kind of an ode because the people love it and some people hate it. So it's like the best of both worlds. And I was like, okay, if it goes well, we'll wear the goat necklace. I know people will go crazy over it. But at the end of the day, it is crazy that I am in the conversation of greatest of all athletes because I just still think I'm Simone Biles from Spring, Texas that loves to flip.
It is the 6th Olympic gold medal for Biles, the most of any U.S. gymnast. She picked up her 5th in the team competition earlier in the week. Teammate Sumi Lee, the defending all-around champion from Tokyo, was 3rd for the bronze.
After game, I honestly was just telling myself, like, there's really no shot for a medal. So I was just like, just go out there and have fun. And that's exactly what I did. I did everything that I was supposed to. And here we are. I'm so happy with my medal. I mean, I didn't even think that I would be here. So to be here is just a blessing in itself.
Lee making the remarks to NBC. The U.S. women's basketball team clinched a spot in the quarterfinals by beating Belgium 87-74. Brianna Stewart led all scorers with 26 points, while Asia Wilson had 23 points and 13 rebounds. The U.S. women are on a 57-game Olympic winning streak that dates back to Barcelona in 1992. And Katie Ledecky and 3 American teammates took silver in the 4x200-meter freestyle relay in her next-to-last event of these games. Ledecky broke the mark she shared with fellow Americans Dana Torres, Natalie Coughlin, and Jenny Thompson. The 27-year-old now has 8 gold medals, 4 silvers, and 1 bronze over 4 Olympics, with every intention of swimming on to Los Angeles in 2028. On the diamond, David Fry hit a 3-run shot. Jose Ramirez had a 2-run shot. And the Cleveland Guardians hammered the Baltimore Orioles 10-3 in a matchup of 2 of the AL's division leaders. Bo Naylor added a 3-run blast as the Guardians out-homered the Orioles, who led the majors with 172 homers. Mike Tauschman doubled in Dansby Swanson for the winning run as the Cubs scored 3 times in the 9th inning to rally for a 5-4 victory over the Cardinals. Vinny Pasquantino homered twice. Seth Lugo gave up just 4 hits over 8 strong innings. And the Kansas City Royals beat the Detroit Tigers 7-1. Bobby Witt Jr. also homered for the Royals, who are 4-0 on their current road trip. Detroit has lost 4 in a row and has been outscored 25-5 in those games.
Breaking news first. America's first news. We'll be right back.
Can you believe, with all the recent violent protests, looting, destruction, some areas are considering either defunding or abolishing the police? At a time when America's neighborhoods need the protection of police the most, some elected officials would rather create more chaos by playing politics. If you're sick of elected officials caving in to demands of the radical left, you're not alone. It's time we stand up and declare our support for local police. The majority of police officers are important partners in protecting our God-given rights. If you prefer freedom over chaos, then learn how you can help protect the local police that serve your community. Call today and request your free Support Your Local Police info packet. Dial 800-JBS-USA1. That's 800-JBS-USA1. Request your free Support Your Local Police info packet by calling 800-JBS-USA1 today.
And good Friday morning. It is Friday, August 2nd, and it is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Colfax. Currently, it is 69 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 95 degrees. All right, gang, let's talk about another event for the calendar. It's actually happening today. If you don't have it on the calendar, well, you should get it on there. It's the Art Walk 24, downtown Auburn and historic Old Town Auburn. Having an art walk today. It's going to be from 5 to 8 p.m. It's free admission. It's family friendly. It's happening with businesses all around the area here. 14 local businesses, nonprofits, and galleries have joined to provide outlets for 20 established and emerging artists to share their original works and artistic philosophies. The Auburn Arts Commission is hosting it today, again, Friday, August 2nd, from 5 to 8 p.m. There's going to be a reception sponsored by each business. Meet the artists, enjoy refreshments, live music performances both downtown and in Old Town Auburn. All Art Walk venues will have original artwork for sale. Again, we'll be open from 5 to 8 p.m. Free admission, family friendly, all that good stuff. Again, the Auburn Art Walk happening today, 5 to 8 p.m. in downtown and historic Auburn. Back with your KAHI News right after this.
It's back to school time, and your one-stop place for shopping is McCullough's Department Store in the Auburn Town Center. You'll find everything you need: backpacks, Levi's, shorts, t-shirts, a big selection of Russell sportswear, and tennies. You can pick up everything. Make your kid look sharp. Head on back to school just by shopping at McCullough's, where there's no problem parking in the Auburn Town Center, right off the town.
And here's your KAHI News for this Friday, August 2nd. I'm Chris Quant. Lake Tahoe Beach reopens as water quality normalizes following sewage spill. This is from Fox 40 News. The last of two beaches affected by a large sewage spill in North Lake Tahoe has reopened with the lifting of a health advisory by Placer County Environmental Health on Wednesday, according to the North Tahoe Public Utility District. Carnelian West Bay Beach Let's try that again. Carnelian West Beach has been closed since July 19th after some 85,000 gallons of raw sewage flowed into Lake Tahoe from a nearby main sewage line break along North Lake Boulevard. After continued testing of bacteria levels in the waters surrounding the beach, County Health found that the water quality tests are back to normal range and within California standards. The shoreline and the beach reopened to the public at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, and landscaping repairs will continue through August 6th. The spill occurred when a contractor working in the Carnelian Bay area hit a main sewer line, causing road closures for 12 hours and allowing 125,000 gallons of sewage to escape. Placer Sheriff's Office to host Internet Safety Webinar. This is from the Auburn Journal. The Placer County Sheriff's Office is hosting a virtual webinar to educate the public on internet safety for kids and teens. The webinar, in partnership with the FBI and Sacramento County Sheriff's Office, will provide an overview of sextortion and human trafficking. Yeah, I was trying to look at that word again to make sure I pronounced that right. Yeah, according to the Sheriff's Office, the webinar presenters will cover various topics, including how victims are targeted, human trafficking, exploiters, recruitment, and what to do if someone is victimized, and what is being done in the area to combat these types of crimes. The Sheriff's Office confirmed there will be a question and answer period for parents to speak with Placer County detectives. Quote, "This will be a great opportunity for parents to meet Placer County detectives and gain knowledge about recent crime trends surrounding sextortion and human trafficking," the Sheriff's Office said. The webinar will be from 6 to 8 p.m. Tuesday, August 6th. Residents wanting to participate can register at sacrtac.org. That's sacrtac.org. Back with more news after this.
Senior that could use a burst of joy, or a senior that needs help overcoming the conflict they are facing. Silver Wishes of Placer County may be able to help. Silver Wishes grants wishes to help seniors overcome a challenge, help break up the monotony of a chronic illness, bring joy to those suffering from loneliness, or fulfill a bucket list item for someone facing a terminal diagnosis. Wish recipients must be residents of Placer County and at least 65 years old. For more information and to nominate a senior for a wish, go to www.silverwishes.org. That's www.silverwishes.org. Silver Wishes, impacting our seniors one wish at a time.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child focus on other thoughts racing through their head. Why do I always fall behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different. Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/the reason to get started.
Continuing now with your KAHI news from the Morning Brew. Don Lemon is suing Elon Musk and X over their scrapped partnership. In a lawsuit filed in San Francisco court, the former CNN anchor accused Musk of luring him through, quote, false promises, unquote, to invest in creating a talk show for the social media platform before abruptly canceling the deal and refusing to pay the $1.5 million Lemon believes he was owed. The content partnership fell apart when Musk grew angry after Lemon asked him about the rise in hate speech on X and his use of the drug ketamine in a March interview. New iPads helped Apple beat revenue estimates. In a bright spot for big tech in an otherwise day, Apple reported a sales surge of 5% to $85.8 billion in the last quarter, in part due to its number of iPads making up for sluggish results in China. Amazon also reported earnings, missing on revenue expectations amid increased competition from Temu and Shein. Both Apple and Amazon continue to spend heavily on artificial intelligence to catch up to rivals. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Intel announced it's cutting 15,000 jobs, or 15% of its workforce, as it falls behind in chip manufacturing. Uber partnered with Chinese EV maker BYD to adopt 100,000 vehicles for its ride-hailing platforms in Europe and Latin America. Israel confirmed that it killed Hamas's top military commander in an airstrike last month. Meanwhile, the New York Times reported that a bomb planted and hidden for months in an Iran complex is what killed Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh this week. The Biden administration proposed a new rule that would ban airlines from charging parents more to sit with their kids on flights. An Olympics update: in addition to Simone Biles winning her 6th gold medal in the women's gymnastics all-around competition, Katie Ledecky set a record for the most medals won by a female swimmer when the U.S. earned silver in the women's 4x200 freestyle relay. The U.S. ended Thursday with a world-leading 37 total medals, but was second behind China in golds. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is piddling, meaning amounting to very little. Piddling. And that's your KAHI news for this Friday, August 2nd. I'm Chris Quant. On now to the California Ag Report.
Yeah, Ag Today. I'm Haley Schiff. This is the Ag Information Network. But we're actually talking about California Ag next week. We've got an event going on. We're talking state of the industry, and the industry is agriculture. The California State Board of Food and Agriculture will bring together rural appraisers, financial institutions, and agricultural associations to hear updates on market trends and the farm economy. It's happening on Tuesday, August 6th. That meeting is going to be held from 10 to 2:30 at the California Department of Food and Agriculture. If making it to Sacramento isn't on your agenda next week, you can also take part in it. California's farmers and ranchers are experiencing challenging market conditions, said CDFA Secretary Karen Ross, adding that with downward trending prices and increased production costs, on-farm profitability is eroding. It's important to hear farm perspectives to help inform policy and programs at the federal, state, and local level. The California State Board of Food and Agriculture advises the governor and CDFA secretary on agricultural issues and consumer needs. The board conducts forums that bring together local, state, and federal government officials, agricultural representatives, and citizens to discuss current issues and concerns to California agriculture. We've got the Zoom for that meeting up on our website, aginfo.net.
Do you know a veteran in need?
If the Olympics feel a little more claustrophobic this year, it's probably from all the brands shoving their way into the spotlight. While the event has always had some light branding, it's historically been kept outside the actual rings, arenas, and fields. But Paris has ramped up product placement as the games are leaning more on private donors instead of taxpayers for funding. The brand most prominently on display is luxury conglomerate LVMH, which paid roughly $163 million to be a premium sponsor of the Paris Games. The opening ceremony, which garnered nearly 29 million viewers, doubled as an ad for the brand. It featured Louis Vuitton trunks being tossed around and performers decked out in custom noir. Winning athletes are being presented with medals on Louis Vuitton trays. Samsung is also getting in on the medal ceremonies with sponsored selfies. Athletes aren't normally allowed their own phones on the platform, but they're given a Galaxy Olympic Edition smartphone to take an official victory selfie.
Join me each weekday morning right here
To take
on FM 104.5
an official victory selfie with their fellow competitors. Now, an official selfie might sound corny, but it's already forced a memorable moment for international relations. North and South Korean athletes snapped a podium photo together after mixed doubles table tennis finals. Also, athletes get paid for the golds. Also, how much are those athletes getting paid for those medals?
Wow, 2023 saw home insurance soar out of control, forcing many people to actually contemplate selling their home. Brandon Harris here to say it's not all doom and gloom. At Homer Insurance, you'll talk to real insurance experts that have real solutions. We work with dozens of real estate companies helping their agents solve problems every day. If you think you're paying too much, give us a crack and call Homer Insurance today at 916-339-7070. 916-339-7070. Catch Sinatra and Friends, Saturdays and Sundays, right here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Join Frank and his friends, Sammy, Dean, Tony Bennett, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishing on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. Right here on the Voice of the Foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
You may have questions about finding transportation, healthy meals, or other services around your home and in your community. And the Elder Care Locator has the answers at 1-800-677-1116. Our caring advisors can connect you to trustworthy local experts and the support you need to age well at home. Real people, real assistance, and real connections are just a phone call away with the Elder Care Locator. 1-800.
Go. And 1 minute to the top of the hour, 6:50 a.m. here at FM 104.5 AM 950 KAHI, Voice of the Foothills. That's 1 hour down, gang. We've got a couple more to go. Coming up next hour, we're going to have your dad jokes. You can send me yours live at KAHI.com, LIVE at KAHI.com, or you can call me 530-885-3565. And in the 8 o'clock hour, as we do on Friday, it's hard to believe we're already to Friday, Mary Jane Papa is going to join me. We're going to talk about her show coming up this weekend and tons of good stuff. Pausing.
And AM 950, KAHI, Auburn.
And good Friday morning to you. It is August 2nd, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 7 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, Voice of the Foothills. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI studios. Looking forward to another fantastic day. It's looking nice out there. Now, we're going to check in with meteorologist Tim Root here in just a little bit to see what our weather's looking like. It's going to be, it's not going to be cool, but it's not going to be hot like we've been seeing here over those last few weeks. But it's still going to be a little bit warm. How you doing? Hope you're getting started off with a great day. Let's not forget this, by the way. If today is your birthday, happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today as you're getting started with your birthday. You're like, hey, is there anybody that I've heard of that might be born on the same day I was born on? Well, Peter O'Toole, British-Irish actor, passed away in 2013, but was born on this day in 1932. Trying to see if there's anybody kind of low on the famous people as far as might be Dennis Prager, American radio host, author, born in 1948. I'm looking who else is here that we might have heard of. That's about it. But that's all right. That just means that the day is just for you. It's your birthday today. Have a great birthday. It's a summer birthday. Enjoy. I was talking to a coworker yesterday who I was actually kind of surprised by this. And not to take anything away from August birthdays. He said, oh my gosh, we're starting August. This is just a busy month where all of our family birthdays, mine and my wife's birthday, we've got a couple other family members' birthdays are in August. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard of a lot of August birthdays like that where it would land like that. But it made me think of like, well, for our family, it's in the fall. That's the same when we start hitting September. So it's coming up here soon. It's just the string of birthdays. We're all fall babies. And so I was like, all right, well, that's kind of interesting. Like when you find a partner, and I don't know if this was true for you, but you find a partner, you find a spouse, and sometimes the birthdays line up. You were born in that same section of the year. Maybe it's completely opposite. Like my parents were kind of opposite ends of the year, but it was kind of funny how I thought, oh, it's maybe not such a unique thing that with my spouse and I, we ended up in the kind of the latter end of the year, and the coworker, they were all in August. So like, yeah, that's pretty much it. When we start the birthday celebration, it just kind of rolls right on in through the fall, into Thanksgiving, into Christmas, and into the new year. So we kind of laugh that between all of our family birthdays, like once September hits, it's a celebration train all the way to the new year. So that's it, wrapping up the year. But hey, not to take away, if it's your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If it is your birthday, celebrate with an ice cream sandwich. It is ice cream sandwich day. Go ahead, treat yourself. Go out there and enjoy your day. On this day in 1776, the official signing of the Declaration of Independence took place in Philadelphia. Now, if I don't know, this was in Philadelphia, but if you've not had a chance to go back east and see some of those historical sites, I highly recommend you do it. My wife and I had a chance to go to Boston a few years back, and we didn't have a whole lot of time there. We were kind of there for a work event, and I was working quite a bit, but we did have some time to do a little bit of the Independence Trail. And if you've not had a chance to go back there and kind of see some of the early American history, I don't know. I'm a history nerd there, but if you grown up in America, I think it's interesting. Turns out pretty much every fence or anything iron is made by Paul Revere. I get it, like he made a ton of stuff that is still around. You've got the graveyards where these folks are buried. Like where one of these historical conversations in that building that took place is now a Chipotle. But it's kind of interesting as you're going. There was a balcony from one of the churches there where the Declaration of Independence was read. So just these things that you're just walking around in Boston. It is, one, a beautiful city, and two, very cool from a history nerd, especially American history nerd perspective. If you ever have a chance to go, highly recommend that you do it. But hey, highly recommend getting our weather updated from meteorologist Tim Root. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Forecasting mostly sunny skies, still hot today in the mid-90s. And light southwest winds. It'll be around 72 tonight. Scattered clouds and light winds expected. A dry, sunny, hot weekend coming up. Mostly sunny skies Saturday and Sunday. The high about 90 to 99 each afternoon. And light southwest winds over the weekend. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
In the heating and air conditioning business, the state of California has millions of regulations.
But surprisingly,
almost nothing when it comes to the technical knowledge required of a heating and air technician.
That means they can send a salesman to your home that looks like a true technician but knows next to nothing when servicing your heating and air system. His only focus is to sell you a new one. That'll never happen with Big Mountain's 2-for-1 rejuvenation of your heating and air system. Our truly comprehensive two-part service of both your furnace and your
No $500 rebate. Replace your old R22 system. Details at 916-378-6270 or BigMountainAir.com.
6 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:06 a.m. Coming up in our next segment here, turns out there's some cash. There's a lot of cash moving around at the Olympic Games. I know we're a heavy Olympic. It only comes once every 4 years. So you're like, Chris, slow your roll on the Olympics. I know, but this is kind of interesting news of, hey, how much is sponsorships a thing at the Olympics? And also, how are those athletes getting paid for their medals? Because they do get paid for those medals. I didn't really know how much it was. We'll find out more about that when we come back after these messages.
Saturdays and Sundays right here, 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Join Frank and his friends, Sammy, Dean, Tony Bennett, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishing on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. Right here on the Voice of the Foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
Radio. Why should I
Why should I advertise on the radio?
Radio you could possibly do.
Radio.
All right, watch this. Okay, people, and now when I give you the cue, I want the 700-foot mountain of whipped cream to roll into Lake Michigan, which has been drained and filled with hot chocolate. Then the Royal Canadian Air Force will fly over, towing a 10-ton maraschino cherry, which will be dropped into the whipped cream for the cheering of 25,000 extras. All right, cue the mountain. Cue the Air Force. Cue the maraschino cherry. Okay, 25,000 cheering extras. Now, want to try that on television?
Well.
Radio is a very special medium. It stretches the imagination.
Doesn't television stretch the imagination?
Up to 27 inches.
Calling all big thinkers. The world's climate is changing. These aren't new facts, but it means we must think in new ways about how we can live, prosper, and provide energy for our world while protecting our planet. Engineers are answering the call to create cleaner, safer, reliable energy. Solar power, harnessing the power of the sun to light all corners of the globe. Wind power, channeling a simple breeze to bring electricity to our homes. Hydropower, using the natural flow of water to generate electricity. Nuclear power, engineering advanced reactors that are safer, more reliable, and produce zero carbon emissions. Engineers are leading the way and empowering the next generation. Engineers answer the call. Brought to you by the National Engineers. Learn more at nae.edu.
9 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:09 a.m. Now, before we went to break there, we were talking about there's a lot of little cash, little money, little green flowing around the Olympic Games here. Kind of interesting information as we're talking about what powers. I always say money makes the world go round, but also there's quite a bit of dough that goes into making these venues, the Olympic venues. I don't know if you've seen any of these venues that they have there. I was talking about the fencing venue. If you're watching the Olympics there, it is unreal. Of course, it's in Paris, France. So I kind of feel like Paris kind of has to be stylish. Like it has to be, it's kind of fit for having to look good and feel real good on camera and all that good stuff. Style of the capital of French, very stylish French. So it totally tracks with the Parisian vibe. But hey, this is from the Morning Brew. If the Olympics feel a little more claustrophobic this year, it's probably from all the brands shoving their way into the spotlight. Now, while the event has always had some light branding, it's historically been kept outside of the actual rings, arenas, and fields. But Paris has ramped up product placement in the games and are leaning more on private donors instead of taxpayers for funding. Now, this is interesting. And this kind of makes sense for Paris, though. But the brand most prominently on display is the luxury conglomerate LVMH, which paid up roughly $163 million to be a premium sponsor of the Paris Games. Now, the opening ceremony, which garnered nearly 29 million viewers, doubled as an ad for the brand. It featured Louis Vuitton trunks being tossed around and performers decked out in anyway, whatever that clothing brand is. Winning athletes are being presented with medals on Louis Vuitton trays, and Samsung is getting in on the medal ceremony with sponsored selfies. So get this. This is pretty interesting. I didn't know this. It makes sense, again, and this is probably one of those things like, you know what, back in probably 15, 20, 30 years ago, didn't have to worry about this. But turns out athletes aren't normally allowed their own phones on the podium, because why wouldn't you want to take a selfie of yourself on the podium? Of course you want to, but they are, check this out, they are given a Galaxy Flip Olympic Edition smartphone to take an official victory selfie with fellow competitors. Now, it's probably a good thing that I would not have been one of those people, because I don't know about you, like I've always had an iPhone. I don't know, call it brand loyalty, whatever. You hand me a smartphone that I'm not familiar with, and you're gonna sponsor me to somehow take a selfie of that with a phone that an ecosystem that I've never used. I think I would be more nervous about that, about getting the selfie wrong, than probably about any of the presentation or the competition at all. That just the anxiety of like, okay, I'm being sponsored today. I don't know how to use this Android device. where is even the camera on this thing? But it is interesting. Beyond the brand awareness here, an official selfie might sound a little bit corny, but it's already forced a memorable moment for international relations. North and South Korean athletes snapped a podium photo together after mixed double table tennis finals. So pretty interesting there. Of all the kind of the money that's going on behind the scenes and relying more on private sponsorships than taxpayer money, which taxpayers might say, oh, thank you. Actually, I appreciate that. And big money. There's some big money in for the medals. So if you're winning medals, I actually didn't know that athletes got paid for that, but they do. With all the gold medals in the women's all-around yesterday, U.S. gymnast Simone Biles is set to earn $38,000. But if she were from Kazakhstan, she'd get $250,000 and an apartment. Per CNBC, several countries reward their Olympic medalists with bonuses, sometimes in the forms of gifts like cars, free food, and in the case of Indonesia, a cow. Now, for South Korean men, it's literally 18 months of their lives. Medalists from the country are exempt from mandatory military service. And Hong Kong offers the biggest payouts at $768,000 for gold and $192,000 for bronze. Australians, meanwhile, are piddling in comparison. Aussie Olympians receive $13,000 for gold and $7,000 for a bronze, and they don't even get a cow. So there you go. It turns out there's some money in it for a medal. You can kind of see why it motivates you. I mean, one, to be a top-tier athlete and to get to the games, but also it's kind of a nice little payday there for some if you're coming home with a gold medal or a bronze. Interesting, they didn't say anything about silver. I would want to know, maybe silver doesn't count because you're the first loser, as some people say. Anyway, all right. Hey, it's time for us to check in with the Fox Business Report. Let's go there now.
Stock futures turned sharply lower after the number of new jobs created slowed to 114,000 last month. Economists were forecasting 175,000. The unemployment rate rose to 4.3%. Hiring was expected to slow in July, especially because of Hurricane Beryl, which struck the Gulf Coast early in the month. However, the numbers are even weaker than predicted. ExxonMobil shares are higher after an upbeat quarter. It reported production rose 15% in recent months, helped by its Permian Basin and Guyana drilling. Chevron's production was also higher, though its quarter was mixed. Exxon's forecast was disappointing. Apple's China business slowed in the recent quarter. Both of those stocks are lower. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jimko Saldana, invested in you.
To the big, the bold, the teachers, the growers, the builders,
the change makers. We need you. We are the Peace Corps. In more than 60 countries, we go the distance to make a difference. We're volunteers, partners, communities, bringing our experience, joy, and passion to building a better world together. Are you looking for more? Then we are looking for you. Join us at peacecorps.gov.
PCWA is asking all customers to reduce water use by 20% while PG&E works to restore access to Lake Spalding. You can make a difference by reducing the runtime on your sprinklers by just 2 minutes, setting your sprinklers to run first thing in the morning, or upgrading your sprinkler system with high-efficiency rotators and a weather-based sprinkler timer. Learn more ways to help and find out about rebates at pcwa.net. That's WA.net.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:16 a.m. Talking about another event for the calendar. It's happening. It's happening this Sunday. It's the Quail Trail Launch Party. Yeah, you've heard about it. Now it's time to actually put it down on the calendar here. Kicks off at 9 a.m. Sunday morning here at the Armed Forces Pavilion and Community Garden. That's at 995 Lincoln Way here in Auburn. Chris, why should I go there? What's in it for me? Well, I'll tell you what's in it for you. There's going to be music. There's going to be refreshments. It's free, by the way. Small bites, fun for all ages, guided walks because it's the Auburn Quail Trail. And they're creating a pathway between downtown and Old Town Auburn to connect the two. This is a Leadership Auburn Class of 2024 community project. So what better way to come out and support the community than coming out to the launch party again this Sunday, August 4th. It kicks off at 9 a.m. And free event, there's going to be Auburn Quail Trail swag as well. Lots of good stuff happening here. It's going to be at the Armed Forces Pavilion and Community Garden, which if you haven't been there, by the way, it is quite lovely. Go there during the day. Just take some time to sit back and relax and take in nature for a little bit. Maybe walk the labyrinth there while you're there as well. Again, happening this Sunday, August 4th, 9 a.m. Check it out. Community Garden, 995 Lincoln Way here in Auburn. Back with more after this.
The world's climate is changing. These aren't new facts, but it means we must think in new ways about how we can live,
hey there,
and provide energy for our world while protecting our planet. Engineers answering the call to create cleaner, safer, reliable energy. Solar power, harnessing the power of the sun to light all corners of the globe. Wind power, channeling a simple breeze to bring electricity to our homes. Hydropower, using hydropower to generate electricity. Nuclear power, engineering advanced reactors that are safer, more reliable, and produce zero carbon emissions. Engineers are leading the way and empowering the next generation. Engineers answer the call. Brought to you by the National Academy of Engineering. Learn more at nae.edu.
19 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:19 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, Daily Dad Jokes. That's right, make you laugh, sigh, probably roll your eyes. We'll have that here at the bottom of the hour. Back now to America's First News. See you back here in a bit.
Appeals court denied Donald Trump's bid to end a gag order in his hush money criminal case. The court Thursday rejected the Republican former president's argument that his May conviction constitutes a change in circumstances that warrants lifting the restrictions. A 5-judge panel ruled that the trial judge was correct in extending parts of the gag order until Trump is sentenced. The trial judge imposed the gag order in March, and prosecutors raised concerns about Trump's habit of attacking people involved in his cases. And at the same time, Trump's attorneys are again asking the trial judge to step aside from the case, citing his daughter's past work as a political consultant for Vice President Kamala Harris. Delta Airlines CEO Ed Bastian says Delta will be seeking damages from the disruptions related to a global tech outage this month that disrupted emergency services, communications, and thousands of businesses. Speaking on CNBC, Bastian said the airline is facing $500 million in costs related to the CrowdStrike bug and a bad update to Microsoft computers.
People go out and wonder how this could happen, whether we have redundancies. We throw hundreds of millions of dollars in investment in redundancies. The issue is exactly what you said. It's at Microsoft and CrowdStrike, and we are heavy with both. We're by far the heaviest in the industry with both. And so we got hit the hardest in terms of the recovery capability. People don't realize Microsoft and CrowdStrike CrowdStrike are the top two competitors around cyber with each other. So they don't necessarily partner at the same level that we need them to. And so I think this is a call to the industry. Everyone talks about making sure big tech is responsible. Well, guys, this cost us $500 million.
What's going to happen? You're still
we have no choice.
Yeah.
Over a period of 5 days, between not just the lost revenue, but the tens of millions of dollars per day in compensation and hotels, and we did everything we could to take care of our customers over that time. We have no. So if you're going to be having priority access to the Delta ecosystem in terms of technology, you've got to test this stuff. You can't come into a mission critical 24/7 operation and tell us we have a bug. It doesn't work.
The U.S. Department of Transportation is investigating why Delta failed to recover as quickly as other airlines. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said last week that the department would also examine Delta's customer service, including unacceptable lines for assistance and reports that unoccupied minors were stranded at airports. Meanwhile, a new proposed rule would ban airlines from charging families fees to sit together on a flight and would also mandate refunds or free rebooking if family seating is not available. Under the proposal, U.S. and foreign carriers would be required to seat children ages 13 or younger next to a parent or accompanying adult for free. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
We think that's common sense. Now, you're right that the airlines might push back. It wouldn't be the first time that their lobbyists push back on things that we consider to be common sense. But I want to emphasize that this is clearly doable. We've already, just since we started making public that we want airlines to do this, we've been able to sign up 4 airlines. You can go to flightrights.gov for more information that already are doing it. American Airlines is doing it. Alaska is doing it. Frontier, JetBlue. So it's clearly something that can be done. But we are here with this rule that would say it must be done, and airlines would be required to comply. This way, within 48 hours of booking, the airline would be required to assign you those seats together. And if they can't come up with that, if it's not available, then they have to offer you the option of getting your money back or being put onto a different flight without having to pay a fare difference where there are those seats together. Again, to me, this goes back to just a very common sense idea that when you're flying with small kids, you ought to be confident you're going to be able to sit next to them.
Buttigieg making the remarks to CBS. Airlines have been pushing back. In April, the administration issued a final ruling requiring airlines to automatically issue cash refunds for canceled or delayed flights and to better disclose fees for baggage or cancellations. Airlines sued, and a three-judge panel in the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals this week temporarily blocked the rule from taking effect, ruling that it likely exceeds the agency's authority. The judges granted a request by airlines to halt the rule while their lawsuit plays out. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned the, quote, tiny, mindless authority behind the unrest that has plagued several cities after a horrific stabbing at a children's dance class, and vowed to put a stop to it, as the 17-year-old suspect was named Thursday, in part to counter misinformation blamed as one of the causes of fiery clashes.
Make no mistake, whether it's in Southport, London, or Hartlepool, these people are showing our country exactly who they are. Mosques targeted because they're mosques. Flares thrown at the statue of Winston Churchill. A Nazi sword at the Cenotaph. And so I've just held a meeting with senior police and law enforcement leaders where we resolved to show who we are. A country that will not allow understandable fear to curdle into division and hate in our communities. And that will not permit, under any circumstances, a breakdown in law and order on our streets.
Okay.
Because let's be very clear about this. It's not a protest. It's not legitimate. It's crime. Violent disorder. I can announce today that following this
ice cream jokes,
we will establish a national capability across police forces to tackle violent disorder. These thugs are mobile. They move from community to community. And we must have a police force that can do the same. Shared intelligence.
What do you call an ice cream spy? A sorbiteur. A sorbiteur. A sorbiteur. Do you want to get a Sunday? No, thanks. It's only Thursday.
The announcement came as the teen charged with murdering 3 girls and stabbing 10 others made his first
That's good.
and was
All right.
named partly to refute false information that had circulated.
Why does everybody?
His name and immigration status. The judge said his decision to allow.
Why does everyone invite ice cream to the party? It's cool.
Given the boy's age, but He said the team will lose his right to
Rock,
when he turns
Rock
18.
or Road.
Deputy Chief Crown Prosecutor Ursula Doyle and Chief Constable Serena Kennedy.
17-year-old boy.
There we go.
In charge of the Elsie Dot and Alice. 10 counts of attempted murder and possession of a graded article following the tragic incident in Southport on Monday, 29th July. The 17-year-old cannot be named for legal reasons as he is under 18. Whilst these charges are a significant milestone within this investigation, this remains very much a live investigation, and we continue to work with our partners from Lancashire Police and Counter-Terrorism Police in the Northwest. We remind all concerned that criminal proceedings against the defendant are active and that he has a right to a fair trial. It is extremely important that there should be no reporting, commentary or sharing of information online which could in any way prejudice these proceedings.
Bruce Cabana did not enter a plea and was ordered help without bail. Prosecutors did not disclose a motive for the attack. World shares tumbled Friday, with Japan's Nikkei leading the way more than 5% as investors panicked over signs of weakness here at home. The declines followed a retreat on Wall Street after weak data raised worries that the Fed Reserve may have missed its window to cut interest rates before it undercut economic growth. Jerome Powell said a cut could come in September after the U.S. Central Bank held steady at a meeting earlier this week. A nearly 19% decline in Intel shares after market trading added to the gloom. The chipmaker said it was cutting 15% of its massive workforce, about 15,000 jobs, to better compete with more successful rivals like NVIDIA and AMD. It's been a nerve-wracking week for the market, even as central banks in Japan, the United States, and England followed through much as expected. Japan raised its benchmark, the Fed stood pat, and the Bank of England lowered its key rate by 0.25%, 5%, its first cut in more than 40 years. More on the way on this Friday morning. TGIF, you've got AFM.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month. And that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton.
You can save a ton.
Happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy,
all right,
you just want to
let's test our... It's time for your Daily Dad Jokes. That's right, make you laugh, sigh, probably roll your eyes. Today, you can call me 530-885-3565 or... 1 minute, Adam! My spouse says the salads I make tend to be a bit on the dry side. It's definitely something that needs a dressing. Describe yourself in 3 words. Really bad at counting. It was 4 words, Adam. 4. My spouse says the salads I make tend to be a bit on the dry side. It's definitely something that needs a dressing. Describe yourself in 3 words. Really bad at counting. I gotta read these all together.
878-6020.
And good Friday morning to you. It is August 2nd, and it is right smack dab at the bottom of the hour, 7:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Lake of the Pines. Currently, it is 72 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 97 degrees. All right, it's that time. It's time for your Daily Dad Jokes. Make you laugh, sigh, probably. Again, roll your eyes. You can email me live at KAHI.com like Katrina and Aaron did. Get one here from Katrina H. My spouse says the salads I make tend to be on the dry side. It's definitely something that needs a dressing. That's pretty good. I like that one. Oh man, that tickled my funny bone. My spouse says the salads I make tend to be on the dry side. It's definitely something that needs addressing. There we go. I don't know why that made me laugh like that. Here's one from Aaron K. Describe yourself in 3 words. Answer: really bad at counting. That's a good one too. That was 4 words, Adam. It was producer Adam wasn't quite sure. That was 4, not 3. Describe yourself in 3 words. Really bad at counting. There we go. All right, how about this one? I found out my girlfriend is really a ghost. I had my suspicions the moment she walked through the door. Play on words there, Adam. Yep, there we go. And it's National Ice Cream. It's Ice Cream Sandwich Day. So of course we got to get some ice cream dad jokes in here. So what do you get? Here, yeah, wait, no, hang on. Let me start that again. Do you want a Sunday? No, thanks. It's only Thursday. Or Friday, actually. What do you, oh man, this is good. What do you call an ice cream spy? A sorbiteur. That's a good one. Oh, and why does everyone invite ice cream to the party? It's cool. There we go. And there are your daily dad jokes for this Friday, August 2nd. Something to tell the kids, the grandkids, take into the weekend with you, and go out and get yourself an ice cream sandwich. It's Ice Cream Sandwich Day. We'll be back with your KAHI weather right after this. This is always fun. Big finish on this one. Bric-a-brac.
Donations are tax deductible and support cancer patients locally and nationwide. They also need volunteers daily. Shop is located at 2376 Grass Valley Highway in Auburn. For
Big
more
finish.
information, call 530-888-7434.
Oops.
Good Friday morning. I'm forecasting mostly sunny skies, still hot today in the mid-90s and light southwest winds. It'll be around 72 tonight. Scattered clouds and light winds expected. A dry, sunny, hot weekend coming up. Mostly sunny skies Saturday and Sunday.
Dang it.
The high about 93 to 99 each afternoon. And light southwest winds over the weekend. This is meteorologist Tim Rick from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning along with
Matt Ray and America's First News.
Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and
Local
local
events you can handle, plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes.
Chris in the morning with Matt Ray, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills. I never miss it, and neither should you.
My goodness, it's early. It's not that early, producer Adam. 7:33, 33 minutes past the top of the hour. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have your KAHI news. We'll have more market update information for you as well. And in the 8 o'clock hour, Mary Jane Pop. It's Friday already. Mary Jane's going to join me. We're going to be talking a little bit about her show and just life in general. Always love chatting with her. Back now to America's First News. I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
Good Friday morning on America's First News continues. The United States and Russia completed a 20-person prisoner swap Thursday, the largest in post-Soviet history, with Moscow releasing Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and fellow American Paul Whelan in a multinational deal that set some 24 people free. Gershkovich and Whelan, along with Alsu Kermasheva, touched down overnight at a U.S. base outside Washington, where President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris greeted them. Biden earlier Thursday detailed the swap.
Today, we're bringing on Paul, Evan, also Wagner. 3 American citizens, 1 American green card holder. All 4 have been imprisoned unjustly in Russia.
Okay.
Their brutal ordeal is over, and they're free. Moments ago, families and I were able to speak to them on
you should be dancing.
earlier today. They're flown to Turkey. And soon they'll be wheels up on their way home to see their families. This is an incredible relief. All the family members gathered.
Incredible relief.
It's relief to
You should be dancing, yeah. Wow. Why do I do this one? Because I just like playing the music. You should be dancing, yeah. Uh-oh. Did I miss it? Hmm. No.
As other prisoners were released from custody, but Paul remained in Russia.
I think it's difficult. You want to be generous. You are happy to see other people free. But you do start to wonder, and I think we were concerned that as time went on, Paul was going to become one of those insolvable cases. I think additionally, with Russia, there was so few concessions that the U.S. government could make that the Russian government seemed to warrant. That I think we didn't have very high hopes that this was ever going to happen.
It is the latest exchange between the Biden administration and Moscow in the past 2 years, following a December 2022 trade that brought WNBA star Brittany Griner back to the United States in exchange for a notorious Fed Reserve Chair Jerome Powell this week dates for the central bank's first rate cut in 4 years, citing greater progress toward lower inflation as well as a cooler job market that no longer threatens to overheat the economy. Kept its key rate unchanged at a 23-year high at 5.3%, but Powell said the central bank is moving closer toward cutting its key interest rate, possibly in September at the bank's next meeting.
I'll give an example of cases in which it would be appropriate to cut, and maybe it wouldn't be appropriate to cut. So if we were to see, for example, inflation moving down quickly or more or less in line with expectations, growth remains, let's say, reasonably strong, and the labor market remains, consistent with its current condition, then I would think that a rate cut could be on the table at the September meeting. If inflation were to prove, stickier, and we were to see higher readings for inflation, disappointing readings, we would weigh that along with the other things. I think it's going to be not just any one thing. It's going to be the inflation data. It's going to be the employment data. It's going to be the balance of risks as we see it. It's going to be the totality of all of that that help us make this decision.
And just to follow up on that, specifically, in what ways right now, given all you've seen over the last few months in particular on shelter, on services, et cetera, in what ways are you not confident right now that inflation is on the way back to 2%?
I think it's just a question of seeing more good data. We have seen the last couple of readings have certainly added to confidence, and we've seen progress across all three categories of core PCE inflation. That's goods, non-housing services, and housing services. So it's really just, we had a quarter of poor inflation data at the beginning of the year. Then we saw some more good inflation data. We had 7 months at the end of last year. We just want to see more and gain confidence. And as I said, we did gain confidence, and more good data would cause us to gain more confidence.
A rate cut by the Fed is unlikely to have much immediate impact because it's largely expected by financial markets. Yet over time, lower rates could reduce borrowing costs for consumers and businesses, including mortgage and auto loan rates. The news did nothing to calm markets. Wall Street was down after weak data raised worries that the central bank may have missed its window to cut interest rates. Now to sports this morning, and Brett Rippon stole the show before lightning and heavy rain ended the game early. The veteran quarterback threw 3 touchdown passes, leading the Chicago Bears to a 21-17 win over the Houston Texans Thursday night in the Hall of Fame game. The NFL's exhibition opener was stopped with 3:31 left in the third quarter and was called off after a 36-minute delay. All eyes were on the NFL's radical new kickoff rule at the start. The league dramatically redesigned the play, aiming to revive it after a record low returns last season. None of the 8 kickoffs were returned beyond the 32. 3 were brought back to the 26, a yard farther than the old touchback. There was 1 touchback that came out to the 30. Now to Paris, where Simone Biles dazzled again, while winning the gold in women's all-around gymnastics at the Paris Games, becoming the oldest woman to accomplish the feat since 1952. The 27-year-old Olympian nailed her floor exercise to edge Brazil's Rebecca Andrade in one of the tightest victories of her decorated career. She became the first woman to win the all-around gymnastics gold at non-consecutive Olympics, having previously done so at the 2016 Rio Games.
3 years ago, I never thought I'd step foot on a gymnastics floor again just because of everything that had happened. But with the help of Cecile and Laurent, I got back in the gym and worked really hard mentally and physically. Even this morning at 7 a.m., I saw my therapist, and there's a time change. So she is so amazing for allowing me to do that these couple of days here in Paris. So just making sure I'm mentally well. I think you see that out on the competition floor. And then my goat necklace is just kind of an ode because the people love it and some people hate it. So it's like the best of both worlds. And I was like, okay, if it goes well, we'll wear the goat necklace. I know people will go crazy over it. But at the end of the day, it is crazy that I am in the conversation of greatest of all athletes because I just still think I have Simone Biles from Spring, Texas that loves to flip.
It is the 6th Olympic gold medal for Biles, the most of any U.S. gymnast. She picked up her 5th in the team competition earlier in the week. Teammate Sumi Lee, the defending all-around champion from Tokyo, was 3rd for the bronze.
After beam, I honestly was just telling myself, like, there's really no shot for a medal. So I was just like, just go out there and have fun. And that's exactly what I did. I did everything that I was supposed to. And here we are. I'm so happy with my medal. I mean, I didn't even think that I would be here. So to be here is just a blessing in itself.
Lee making the remarks to NBC. The U.S. women's basketball team clinched a spot in the quarterfinals by beating Belgium 87-74. Breonna Stewart led all scorers with 26 points, while Asia Wilson had 23 points and 13 rebounds. The U.S. women are on a 57-game Olympic winning streak that dates back to Barcelona in 1992. And Katie Ledecky and 3 American teammates took silver in the 4x200-meter freestyle relay in her next-to-last event of these games. Ledecky broke the mark she shared with fellow Americans Dana Torres, Natalie Coughlin, and Jenny Thompson. The 27-year-old now has 8 gold medals, 4 silvers, and 1 bronze over 4 Olympics, with every intention of swimming on to Los Angeles in 2028. On the diamond, David Fry hit a 3-run shot. Jose Ramirez had a 2-run shot. And the Cleveland Guardians hammered the Baltimore Orioles 10-3 in a matchup of 2 of the AL's division leaders. Bo Naylor added a 3-run blast as the Guardians out-homered the Orioles, who led the majors with 172 homers. Mike Tauschman doubled in Dansby Swanson for the winning run as the Cubs scored 3 times in the 9th inning to have a 5-4 victory over the Cardinals. Vinny Pasquantino homered twice. Seth Lugo gave up just 4 hits over 8 strong innings. And the Kansas City Royals beat the Detroit Tigers 7-1. Bobby Witt Jr. also homered for the Royals, who are 4-0 on their current road trip. Detroit has lost 4 in a row and has been outscored 25-5 in those games.
Breaking news first, America's first news. We'll be right back.
In 2024, the American Heart Association celebrates 100 years of life-saving service as the world's leading nonprofit organization focused on heart and brain health. Heart disease still kills more people in the United States each year than all types of cancer combined, but more than half of Americans are unaware of this fact, according to a recent Harris poll survey conducted for the American Heart Association. However, the majority of heart disease is preventable. New research has improved the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of heart disease and its risk factors. Efforts led by the American Heart Association have reduced deaths from heart disease by half over the past century, and helped people with heart disease live longer and more productive lives while managing their condition and risk factors. To learn more about the American Heart Association's Century of Service and how you can help, visit heart.org/centennial.
We are the entertainment you love and information that shapes your
5 seconds, Adam!
We are your companion. We are broadcasters.
And good Friday morning to you. It is August 2nd, and it is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:45 a.m., and good morning to you, Grass Valley. Currently, it is 72 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 93 degrees. And speaking of Grass Valley, let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. You should be dancing. Grass Valley, right now. Get up, dance. Nevada City, you're close by. You're adjacent. Get up and dance as well. You should be dancing. A tribute to the Bee Gees. The Center for the Arts presents a tribute to the Bee Gees Saturday, August 10th, next weekend from 8 to 10 p.m. Tickets range from $40 to $45. You can call them 530-274-8384 for more information. Center for the Arts is presenting an experience, a night of non-stop dancing, soaring falsettos. Here it is. And the most beautiful ballads ever written. Okay, all right, maybe. But hey, it's going to be fun nonetheless. You Should Be Dancing, a tribute to the Bee Gees, Saturday, August 10th, 8 to 10 p.m. It's a live performance, gang. It's going to be super fun. Tickets are $40 to $45. You can get your tickets online at eventbrite.com, or you can call Center for the Arts for more information at 530-274-8384. Here it is. There's the falsetto. Again, it's a You Should Be Dancing, a tribute to the Bee Gees, August 10th from 8 to 10 p.m. at Center for the Arts in Grass Valley. Back with more right after this.
This is Stephen here. Can I turn up some space? Sunday nights at 8, here on the all-new FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. Same voice of the foothills.
More powerful than ever. And here's your KAHI News for Friday, August 2nd. I'm Chris Quant. Lake Tahoe Beach reopens as water quality normalizes following sewage spill. This is from Fox 40 News. The last of two beaches affected by a large sewage spill in North Lake Tahoe has reopened with the lifting of a health advisory by Placer County Environmental Health on Wednesday, according to the North Tahoe Public Utility District. Carnelian West Beach has been closed since July 19th after some 85,000 gallons of raw sewage flowed into Lake Tahoe from a nearby main sewage line break along North Lake Boulevard. After continued testing of bacteria levels in the waters surrounding the beach, County Health found that the water quality tests are back to normal range and within California standards. The shoreline and beach reopened to the public at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, and landscaping repairs will continue through August 6th. The spill occurred when a contractor working in the Carnelian Bay area hit a main sewer line, causing road closures for 12 hours and allowing 125,000 gallons of sewage to escape. Placer Sheriff's Office to host Internet Safety Webinar. This is from the Auburn Journal. The Placer County Sheriff's Office is hosting a virtual webinar to educate the public on internet safety for kids and teens. The webinar, in partnership with the FBI and Sacramento County Sheriff's Office, will provide an overview of sextortion and human trafficking. According to the Sheriff's Office, webinar presenters will cover various topics, including how victims are targeted, human trafficking, exploiters, recruitment, what to do if someone is victimized, and what is being done in the area to combat these types of crimes. The Sheriff's Office confirmed there will also be a question and answer period for parents to speak with Placer County detectives. Quote, "This will be a great opportunity for parents to meet Placer County detectives and gain knowledge about recent crime trends surrounding sextortion and human trafficking," unquote, the Sheriff's Office stated. The webinar will be from 6 to 8 p.m. Tuesday, August 6th, and residents wanting to participate can register at sacrtac.org. That's sacrtac.org. Back with more news after this.
That's not fair. Have a strict boss that only listens to music and never local news? He's not very informed then. But you knew that. Don't worry. You can get KAHI's up-to-the-minute news information and local advice from our talented KAHI news team anywhere you can. Follow KAHI on Twitter or like KAHI on Facebook to receive local news updates multiple times a day. You can also download our KAHI radio app at KAHI.com and enjoy the voice of the foothills at AM 950 KAHI at any time, day or night.
Tune in to the KAHI Corral every Saturday at 7 a.m. here on the Voice of the Foothills.
Fun fact, every centimeter toe growth past what it should be is 110 pounds of individual bone. All extra weight. So it makes my legs ache right now. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. That's scary. Because navicular, you're done.
Yeah, the navicular bone is very important.
Yeah, you're not riding or doing much else.
Listen in to Connie and the Gang, and you'll never know what you're going to find. Everything from pets in the studio.
Oh, yeah, that's a real thing.
To the advice you can count on. So join Connie and a cast of thousands on the KAHI Corral Saturday night at 7 a.m. here on 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at
KAHI.com. Continuing now with your KAHI news from the Morning Brew. Don Lemon is suing Elon Musk and X over their scrapped partnership. In a lawsuit filed in San Francisco court, the former CNN anchor accused Musk of luring him, quote, through false promises, unquote, to invest in creating a talk show for the social media platform before abruptly canceling the deal and refusing to pay the $1.5 million Lemon believes he was owed. The content partnership fell apart when Musk grew angry after Lemon asked him about the rise in hate speech on X and his use of the drug ketamine in a March interview. New iPads help Apple beat revenue estimates. In a bright spot for big tech in an otherwise day, Apple reported a sales surge of 5% to $85.8 billion in the last quarter, in part due to its new line of iPads making up for sluggish results in China. Amazon also reported earnings, missing on revenue expectations amid increased competition from Temu and Shein. Both Apple and Amazon continue to spend heavily on artificial intelligence to catch up to rivals. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Intel announced it's cutting 15,000 jobs, or 15% of its workforce, as it falls behind in chip manufacturing. Uber partnered with Chinese EV maker BYD to adopt 100,000 vehicles for its ride-hailing platforms in Europe and Latin America. Israel confirmed that it killed Hamas's top military commander in an airstrike last month. Meanwhile, the New York Times reported that a bomb planted and hidden for months in an Iran complex is what killed Hamas's political leader Ismail Haniyeh this week. The Biden administration proposed a new rule that would ban airlines from charging parents more to sit with their kids on flights. And for an Olympics update, in addition to Simone Biles winning her 6th gold medal in the women's gymnastics all-around competition, Katie Ledecky set a record for the most medals won by a female swimmer when the U.S. earned silver in the women's 4x200 freestyle relay. The U.S. ended Thursday with a world-leading 37 total medals, but was second behind China in golds. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is piddling, meaning amounting to very little. Piddling. And that's your KAHI news for this Friday, August 2nd. I'm Chris Quant. Back with more after this.
This new bedroom at Naturewood Home Furnishings' biggest bedroom sale of the year.
Design your very own perfect bedroom.
From simple to lavish to luxurious, choose the style, colors, and hardware that fit just for you. Save now on Sacramento's very best bedrooms and mattresses.
Over 60 on display.
This bedroom sale ends soon at Naturewood. You know, the building with the water wheel.
Tell Brooklyn Nova and Orion sent you.
Listen to
The Garden Goddesses.
Saturday morning at 8 a.m. here on the Voice of the Foothills.
If you want to be kept in the plant know, join us on our radio show, The Garden Goddesses, Saturday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. on the one and only KAHI Radio, AM 950, FM 104.5, the Voice of the Foothills. Call in to win a prize from Green Acres Nursery and Supply.
Hey there, KI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning, along with Matt Ray and America's First News. Get all the local news,
Weather, traffic, and moments you can handle, plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes.
Chris in the morning with Matt Ray, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the Voice of the Foothills. I never miss it, and neither should you.
For over 60 years, Placer County Water Agency has delivered high-quality water and top-notch customer service. The water we provide helps farmers grow their crops and local businesses thrive and prosper. And most importantly, is there for you every time you turn on the tap. It's a tradition we're proud of, and one we plan on for the next 60 years and the next 60 years after that. Discover how we're securing water for our future at pcwa.net/waterfuture.
It's time to live better at CAC Fit at 2514 Bell Road in the Crossroads Shopping Center. Whether your fitness goals are to lose weight, gain weight, functional training, or recovery, they've got you covered with customized training programs, fitness classes, hydro massages, and more. Open 7 days a week with 24/7 access. Stop by CAC Fit at 2514 Bell Road in the Crossroads Shopping Center. Call 530-885-1964 or online at cacfit.com.
I'm Stuart Barney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened sharply lower after the unemployment rate rose to 4.3% in July, and job growth cooled to 114,000. Interest rates on treasuries have declined. Wall Street is concerned the economy could be heading for a hard landing and that a Fed rate cut in Amazon's quarter was strong. Its forecast was disappointing. The stock's lower. And there are reports that NVIDIA is being investigated by the Justice Department. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jennifer Silva, invested in you.
It's been said that someone you love has Parkinson's. You have Parkinson's. The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you or someone you know is living with Parkinson's, a neurological disease that affects movement, we understand that it can be difficult to know where to find help.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers. Answers for everyone in the fight.
We can help you understand the disease, help you find expert care and local support,
Give you tips for living a better life.
And share the latest research.
Find your answers and join us in the fight against Parkinson's.
To learn more, please go to parkinson.org.
Or call 1-800-473-4636.
That's 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. The problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride.
Sober ride.
Different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Is there power in music? Is there power in crystals? Let's get it on with those powers on life, on Pop Talk. Are you coping with election stress? Not surprising with all the insanity in politics today. Hi, Mary Jane Pop here. The iconic country music maven Lacey J. Dalton shares her life with us. And astrologer Mercury will give us his read for the month of August. It's all part of life on Pop Talk, Saturday 5 to 7 a.m., Sunday 9 to 11 p.m., and 24/7 at KAHI.com. Just click on Listen.
1 minute to the top of the hour, 7:59 a.m., gang. That is 2 hours down, another one to go. And yeah, speaking of Mary Jane Pop, we're going to be chatting with her coming up in this next hour. Always lovely to talk to Mary Jane. And that was just a preview of what's coming up this weekend. So we'll go into a little bit more in depth. Love the insights that she has with just the amazing variety of guests that she has coming on to the show. So can't wait to talk to Mary Jane here in just a little bit. We're going to pause now for station identification. We'll be back right after this.
K283CM Auburn and AM 950 KAHI Auburn.
And good Friday morning to you. It is August 2nd, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 8 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. Chris Quant holding down the party here in Studio A of the beautiful KAHI studios here in downtown Auburn. Looking outside, it's partly cloudy outside. When did these clouds roll in? My goodness gracious. Well, it'll probably keep the temperature a little bit. We'll see if that holds on here with meteorologist Tim Root here In just a little bit, he'll give us our weather update. But everybody, come on, get up out of your chairs. It's Friday. I know it's only 8 o'clock in the morning, but let's go. Oh, yeah, we got to get down. Looking forward to the weekend. Excited to kick things off today. Headed out to the River Cats today to hang out there. We're taking the boys out there. I got to be honest with you. One of the main ways that I make it to River Cats games is when we're given tickets. I think I've only paid for to go to a. I mean, I love go. Don't get me wrong. I love going there, and especially with the A's coming there next year, it's going to be probably harder to score some tickets, or the prices might go up. Not necessarily for the River Cats game, but just to go into. I'm still calling it Rayleigh Field. Let's just be honest. What is it, Sutter Health Park now, or something like that? To me, it's forever Rayleigh's Field. But love going in. But we had a chance. We had somebody that from our Guide Dogs Association that hooked us up with some tickets today. And I was talking to my son about it yesterday, and I thought, well, at first I had in my mind, because usually I'm like, oh, we're going to be out on the grass there. We're not going to be out on the grass. We're actually going to be in actual seats. And I thought with the guide dog, at first I asked, I don't know what I was thinking. I asked my son, I was like, well, we're going to take Kelpie, our guide dog here. He's like, well, yeah, of course we're going to take him. I was like, I don't know why we wouldn't. I was just trying to think, like, how do you get a guide dog in between your feet and the row in front of you? Because just assuming that there's people sitting on either side of you, where do you smash the guide dog in between those seat rows there? But my son said, my son being the level-headed one here, my 13-year-old, is like, Dad, people take guide dogs to stadiums all the time. We'll figure it out. And I said, that's a good point, son. You probably thought this through more than I have. So excited to go hang with the boys down at the stadium today. Got all the parking tickets and the tickets on my phone. I prep. I'm one of those people that, I don't want to leave everything last minute to chance, but I'm not also like I have everything in organized binders. I'm somewhere in the middle of prepping, making sure that we've got the tickets and all that, but like not scouting out all the parking locations and all the logistics to get there until it's about time to go. But I don't know. The River Cats did this thing today where they sent me, and I really appreciated this. They said, hey, here's a know before you go email. And I checked my email early this morning. I should. They say for your mental health, don't check your email first thing in the morning, but I did it today. But I'm glad I did, because they said, hey, here's the thing. Here's when the parking lot opens. Here's when the gates open. Here's when the game time starts. Here's where you can access these features and that features. And I said, you know what, River Cats? You've got your stuff together. I really appreciate that. So we're excited to hang out with the boys today and celebrate some time with them. Speaking of celebrating, if today is your birthday, happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today. It's going to be a great day out there. You're thinking like, hey, who do I share my birthday with? Well, I'll tell you who. Peter O'Toole, British-Irish actor, passed away in 2013, but was born on this day in 1932. And let's see, I think that's pretty much, he's kind of the most famous name that I've heard on there. Of folks that you might have heard of. But hey, that just means it's more time to celebrate you today. The birthday boy, Peter O'Toole. There may be honor among thieves, but there's none in politicians. I feel that that's probably timeless, and it's probably always felt that way. I feel like it's becoming more and more true the more we get into this political season. Oh, but that is kind of funny. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the birthday boy, Peter O'Toole there. Hey, we need to find out what today is looking like. For that, we're going to turn it over to meteorologist Tim Root. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Forecasting mostly sunny skies, still hot today in the mid-90s and light southwest winds. It'll be around 72 tonight. Scattered clouds and light winds expected. A dry, sunny, hot weekend coming up. Mostly sunny skies Saturday and Sunday. The high about 93 to 99 each afternoon, and light southwest winds over the weekend. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Here's another KAHI Community Bulletin Board. Hey, you can join the Piers Auburn Center Walking Group. Plus, our independent resource services emphasizes that walking helps seniors to limit sickness, boost endorphins, improve heart health, build bone mass, and improve balance. All this in just 30 minutes a day, and it's free. Meet at the Auburn Recreation Park at 9:30 a.m. on Wednesdays every week. The Senior Center Walking Group walks a beautiful, fully accessible path around Recreation Park at 123 Recreation Drive, right off of Auburn Folsom Road in preparation is always important, and understand that there are risks, both foreseeable and unpredictable, with any exercise, and that your consultation with your doctor is advised regarding whether you can safely participate in a walking club. Walks could be canceled due to bad weather, so call Pauline at Piers 530-885-6100 or 1-800-833-3453 to verify during inclement weather.
6 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:06 a.m. Coming up next, Mary Jane Pop's going to join me for our Friday discussion. Always lovely to talk to Mary Jane. We'll be back after this.
Good Friday morning, America's first news. And 3 Americans stepped out.
KAHI Radio.
Touchdown on U.S. soil for the first time.
Hi, Judy. Good morning.
Complex 24-person prisoner exchange with Russia. Journalist Evan Gerskovich and also Kermasheva, along with fellow American Paul Whelan.
Oh, I have it on my list. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
President Kamala Harris and family members welcomed them back. On the tarmac, Biden gave credit to the cooperation of nations, including Germany and Slovenia, saying they agreed to difficult things that were against their self-interest. Earlier Thursday.
Yeah, no, I thought about it. As I was promoting it, it was, I think last hour I was like, oh yeah, Judy called. I gotta tell Mary Jane. We talked about it last week, so I definitely have it on the list of things to do. So for sure. but I appreciate the reminder. Yes, absolutely. Well, even now, yeah, my wife's like, yeah, I remember about that thing. It's like, put it on the calendar. That's what it's not real until it's on the calendar. That's I go to it every day. So. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like might as well not happen. It was funny. I was looking at it this morning, like, wait, who do I have a guest on? Wait, who do I have on today? Okay, I got Mary Jane. Okay, that's good.
It is the latest exchange between the Biden administration and Moscow in the past 2 years.
Oh yeah. Oh, it'd be a disaster. Absolute disaster.
In exchange for
I know. Where am I supposed to be? Where am I? What day is today? What's happening? So, oh my gosh.
Showed incredible courage after being unjustly held in Russia. Harris said she also spoke.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah. Oh gosh, there's a lot of things vying for our attention. So to come back and to be. Yeah. I'm right there with you. Thanks, Jude. I appreciate it. Yeah, great talking to you. You have a good weekend too. And yeah, I'll let Mary Jane know. She'll be excited to hear that. Okay. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan confirmed Thursday that there's going to be part of the exchange.
Okay.
We working with our partners on a deal that would have included Alexei Navalny, and unfortunately he died. In fact, on the very day that he died, I saw Evan's parents, and I told them that the president was determined to get this done, even in light of that tragic news, and that we were going to work day and night to get to this day. And so that will continue over the course of the past few months and culminated in today.
Donald Trump posted on Truth Social disparaging the Biden administration's prisoner exchange with Russia, calling American negotiators an embarrassment. Trump asked in his post if the U.S. had paid cash for Thursday's releases, something National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan specifically denied.
Hi.
Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance headed to the southern U.S.-Mexico border Thursday as the Trump campaign hits the vice president over the Biden administration's border security.
I've heard so many stories just in the last half hour of how these guys have failed the American people and especially failed our children.
Okay.
But I want to introduce some of the people who are fighting this day in and day out, and some of them I'm sure can tell you some stories, and it's just unbelievable. It is unbelievable what we're letting it happen because Kamala Harris refuses to do her job. What President Trump and I promise to the American people is very simple. This is not rocket science. It is not hard to secure the southern border. You just have to re-implement some common sense policies. You've got to re-implement remain in Mexico. You've got to stop catch and release. You've got to force the asylum seekers to stay in Mexico while their claims are being adjudicated. And you've got to finish this border wall and re-implement deportations. If people who come into this country and they know they're never going to be deported, you effectively have an open border. That's what Kamala Harris promised. That's what Kamala Harris did. And Donald Trump and I promised to do exactly the opposite.
Harris was tasked in 2021 with addressing the root causes of migration to the United States from Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. Harris on the stump noted it's Trump who sank a bipartisan border deal so he could make it a campaign issue. The U.S. government has announced that it's recognizing opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez as the winner of Venezuela's presidential election, despite the country's electoral authority giving the victory to President Nicolas Maduro. The National Electoral Council declared Maduro the winner of the election, but Gonzalez and opposition leader Maria Corina Machado said they've obtained more than two-thirds of the tally sheets. Later Thursday, the governments of Brazil, Colombia, and Mexico issued a joint statement calling on Venezuela's electoral authorities to move forward and publicly release detailed voting data, but they didn't confirm any backroom diplomatic efforts to persuade Maduro's government to publish the vote tallies. And chipmaker Intel says it's cutting 15% of its workforce, or about 15,000 jobs, as it tries to turn its business around to compete with more successful rivals like NVIDIA and AMD. In a memo to staff, Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger said Thursday the company plans to save $10 billion in 2025. The job cuts come in the heels of a disappointing quarter and forecast for the iconic chipmaker founded in 1968 at the start of the PC revolution. Next week, Intel will announce an enhanced retirement offering for eligible employees and offer an application program for voluntary departures. Intel plunged at 19% after hours.
America's First News with Matt Ray.
For veterans concerned about their alcohol or drug use, seeking help can be the first step toward recovery. Dr. Joseph Liberto, National Mental Health Director for Substance Use Disorders with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, has more.
May is Mental Health Month, and VA is committed to letting every veteran know that help is available. Substance use disorder can harm your physical and mental health, but it can be treated. There are thousands of veterans in recovery.
VA's Today I Am campaign highlights real stories from veterans describing how treatment,
30 seconds, Adam,
and resources help them improve their mental health and
treat substance use disorder at facilities throughout the country. We also offer telehealth services. A better, fuller life is possible. Today, you can start on a path toward recovery.
To learn more, visit maketheconnection.net/MHM.
And good Friday morning to you. It is August 2nd, and it is 14 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:14 here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. And hey, good morning to you. Placerville, currently 78 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 95 degrees. Gang, it is Friday. It is the 8 o'clock hour. That can only mean one thing. That means that we have got Mary Jane Pop on the line with us. Mary Jane, good morning. How are you? Oh, okay. I'm ready. Oh, no. Oh, hang on. I got to cue something up here. Okay. I have no idea. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Okay, I'm very interested in that. It's not something that I've come across a lot, but the kind of the healing sounds. There's the what is it, 432 hertz or something like that. I put on some of those types of sounds when going to bed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, that's what the picture I had in my mind. Okay. Oh. Okay, that's interesting. Now, have you ever done the thing where okay, the next image that I have in my mind now is when you have a wine glass there or something like, and you take the and you get it a little bit your finger and you go the rim there and it creates that tone, that sound. Is it something like that? Ah. Okay. Oh, I'm excited to hear that. Yeah. Well, just on the wine glass, I don't know if the first time I discovered that, I was like, "This is incredible. Who knew?" Like frequency and vibration and well, that that is a good that's a good point as well. That's a good test. It's like, ah, well, yeah, that's right. Mhm. Yeah. Michael and yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. I gotta tell you, the first time, so but when I did this before, and it was part of another organization, and that, as radio goes, sometimes it's not always the most secure industry to be in, but got that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, if the key still works in the door, if not, then that's yeah, exactly. But I remember, and it was kind of morning news cycle and all that stuff. And I remember after having been from that, I had to kind of take some time away just to kind of let my mind reset a little bit. And I know that we don't always have that luxury to kind of be away, but when you're in it in the morning and you're deep into it, especially as you're starting your day, you kind of have to manage your mental health there a little bit. But it was interesting, Mary Jane. It's funny that you say that because I'm remembering a dream that I had last night that I woke up to, and it was one of those it's a dream. You're not quite waking up in a cold sweat and panicky, but you're waking up just a little bit distressed, and you're trying to make sense of what you just processed in your brain. And it was the fact that I was with different people that I have known throughout different phases of more in my adult life, people that I love and genuinely cherish. But there were conversations, political in nature, that I was just trying to understand, like, help me understand where you're coming from. And I was feeling very isolated and alone but it was all politically motivated. I'm like, I don't want to be here right now. I just want to be in just having a friendly conversation. But again, I don't know how we get away from that sometimes. Yeah. Right, right. Mm. Well, right, right, and it was like, where do we meet in the middle? And I think that was kind of in my dream. Like, I was trying to think of, like, gosh, there's got to be a middle ground. There's got to be, and I don't want to wax philosophical here, like from what I dreamed last night, but it really was of like, hey, there's somewhere where we can reach a friendly, middle ground here, and we can still be friends, and we can still talk, and we can still have conversation and break bread together and dialogue together, but not, yeah. Well, I hope we can get back to that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so true. Yeah. I'm gonna hit you with, I know we kind of do these quotes at the end, but it's kind of appropriate for this part of the conversation. So, birthday boy today, Peter O'Toole, English actor, English Irish actor, by the way. Here's a quote from Peter O'Toole. This made me laugh. There may be honor among thieves, but there's none in politicians. But I gotta say though, Mary Jane, real quick though, and I know we kind of have fun dogging on it, but one of the things, and a shameless plug, we do carry the Auburn Meddlers meeting, the Chamber of Commerce meeting every Tuesday, and I gotta tell you, hearing what our local folks are doing here from our city and our county politicians, what they're doing, and working with the state and working, I genuinely, and talking to Jim Holmes when he comes in here every couple of weeks, it is admirable. All the different things and all the policies that they're trying to manage. And it's the saying, you can please some of the people all of the time, or all the people some of the time, but you can't please all the people all the time. It really is true. And so, kind of, the from our local politics, the day in day out slugging that they're doing, my hat's off to them, because I'm like, oh my gosh. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I've have you have you seen those posters? Everything I learned in kindergarten. I feel like sometimes on the floors there in the government, that we should have a kindergarten teacher. All right, everybody. Just the rules of, like, okay, everybody, quiet. Eyes up here. I know. Everybody share. All right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Mary Jane, that's brilliant. Everybody just take a nap and eat a snack, and then we'll come back and we'll try this again. I love that. I remember. Did we talk with her? Yeah, I think we had her call in. Yeah, she was delightful. Mm. 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 Mhm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm. Mm. Oh yeah. Okay. Mm. That's yeah, for sure. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. It's got a lot of history. Oh, I didn't know that.
But she was right. I said, "How do you just don't come to you?" And she said, "It's just something inside of her. She can feel it."
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 It really is something that and I would imagine the same for her. It's what gets you up in the morning. It's what motivates you to say like, all right, like behind the curtain here, the alarm's going off at 4 a.m. You know what? I'm glad it is because I'm excited to get up. I'm genuinely looking forward in my heart of hearts to get up and do what I do. And I love it and fortunate enough, like, right, Mary Jane, just fortunate enough to be able to do one of these things that we love. And it's a passion that we get to do and have communication and bring. And I think that what Lacey was doing is bringing humanity, right? I think that's what we're trying to do is just have a reminder of the humans that we are, the humans that we interact with, and the humanity that we exist in overall. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yes, please. Yes, please, and more of that. Mary Jane, I want to one thing just to celebrate you because all the work that you do, and I know it is not easy to get all these folks lined up and coordinate all of these things. I just appreciate what you do. Now, there's one thing that when I'm about to interview somebody, I always say, is there anything that's off limits? Like, Lord have mercy, don't ask me about last Tuesday. Is that something that you do similar of just like, hey, is there anything that's off topic that or is it all on the table? It's all on the table. Yeah. We got 30 seconds. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, gosh. Wow. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Okay. Learning from the veteran here. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah. It's an interview. That's right. Doggone it. That's right. It is there. It is ready to go right now. Even if folks, here's an insider. If you want to listen to it early, you can go and listen to it right now, right after we're done talking right here. Mary Jane, as always, it is a pleasure to chat with you. And hey, just want to let you know, Judy from Applegate called in and she just said, hey, can you just let Mary Jane know? I just love listening to her and so glad that you're back on the air now. So just for a little encouragement for you today as you're heading into your weekend, just know that you're loved everything that you bring here on Fridays. Thanks for chatting with me and looking forward to chatting with you again. Oh, yes, please. Yes, let's do that. I forgot about that. Yes. Oh, there we go. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes. That's true. Yeah. That's where to get out the information that needs to be out there. Absolutely. Mary Jane, thank you so much. As the ancient tailors would say, Euripides, Eumenides, and we will leave it with that. Let's chat again next Friday, shall we? I love it. I love it. All right. Thanks, Mary Jane. We're going to run off to commercial. We'll be back right after this. Oh, Mary Jane, fun as always. Thank you so much. I will. We're going to go to a river. I'm going to take the boys to a River Cats game tonight. So we're going to go and enjoy some baseball tonight. So it's going to be fun. I will. I will. Thanks, Mary Jane. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Steal from you. Any device with a digital display on light or sleep mode steals energy. They may only steal a little bit, but like drops of water in a bucket, it adds up and you pay. Stop energy theft. Turn off printers and computers when not in use. Use a power strip for charging. And
6% left on my iPad.
When done. Stop energy thieves and save. Brought to you by Pioneer Community Energy.
35 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:35 a.m. Oh my gosh, such a joy to talk to Mary Jane every Friday. I love chatting with her, all the stories that she has, just learning from her years and years of experience. And we went a little bit long there, gang, but I think it was worth it to talk to Mary Jane. I will see you again on Monday morning. Until we meet again, as always, remember to be kind, be honest, be yourself, and remember, you can't hate somebody if you're hugging them. Have a fantastic weekend. We're going to go back now to America's First News, already in progress. See you back here Monday morning.
Paul was free and that he was on his way back. We had been through 2 prisoner releases before where he had not come home. So despite the growing media announcements, and speculation overnight, and then even into this morning that an exchange was happening and that Paul was going to be a part of it, I didn't really allow myself to believe that was going to happen until I saw that.
Stab myself with my pen. That was weird.
We're overjoyed, and I hope to actually see